Hello everyone, and now welcome to a 2v2 matchup, this game taking place here on Avalanche. Alright, it feels like, metaphysics likes to cause me to stumble in terms of my words, trying to keep up with all the action in a 2v2, and I guess it's also a good way to train the minimap, making sure you look at there, otherwise you will miss out on so much action, as Draniq is spawning as the orange orc player on the top right hand side of the map, Illisori spawning as the Orange Night Elf on the top left. They will be fighting north and south against Sunny on the bottom left. And then finally, Hacks, or also known as Rock or Die Trying, or Rock or Die Try, will be spawning as the Green Undead. All four races in this 2v2 matchup as things are getting underway. And I've mentioned this a couple of times. 2v2 matchups are rather strange. A lot of things happen. Are you going to have 2v1 battles, two 1v1 battles going on? Trying to creep. Harassment is just kicked up to 11 as things are just constantly changed. Death Knight on the move here. We are looking at an Archmage coming out here. Pretty classic old school build coming in from Sunny and Hacks. Meanwhile, off to the north, well, Priestess of the Moon being trained up alongside a Farseer, so two ranged heroes as well. Oh, I just thought if you had a Night Elf player actually go into tier 3 and you had 6 orbs of venom between the 6 heroes in your 2v2 matchup, if you just chose all ranged heroes, how dangerous and nasty would that be? But then again, Night Elf players don't often go for tier 3. Tier 3 Night Elf players, their powerful range units are generally at tier 1, and it looks like we are going to be, or 6 Staff of Frustrations. Well, no, 6 Staff of Frustration wouldn't really be that useful. The cooldown on them is so short. You don't need 6. You could probably get away with 4, as the Archmage already heading back off to the north. Archmage dropping a Water Elemental, going to try and clear out this 4-3-2 creep camp. Militia and Footmen now making their way over, but we can see that the Priestess of the Moon is already pushing in from the north here. Priestess of the Moon going to be putting in that pressure here in just a second. Archmage wants to finish things off here. Is it going to end up losing that Water Elemental? Who's going to get that final shot off there? There's a beautiful deny by Sunny as a Water Elemental being dropped into play here. Footman going to try and get in a little bit more damage, and the Archmage now needs to retreat back down to 275 hit points as the Priestess of the Moon already getting in front, causing some pathing actions, and the Archmage just cannot run over that kitty. True Shot Aura, Scroll of Speed now being used. They're trying to add up that damage down to 49 hit points. Will it be able to get inside the base? One more Searing Arrow will do it, and down goes the Archmage. Arcane Tower not yet ready, and well, what is going on here? A Death Knight Hacks now just personally inside the other base here. How much damage can really be done? We have the ability to call Militia. Archmage is going to get trained back up fairly fast. We need to see some repairs onto this Arcane Tower if damage gets added back up here, but there's only 2 heroes here. There are plenty of units. Militia now need to go ahead and get trained, repair back up, and there you go. Arcane Tower feeding back that damage onto the Farseer, and now that Archmage will be able to make its way out. All right, Sunny building very close to home, able to cause a bit of able to defend this 2-on-1 attack here, as we're looking at Headhunters also joining in on the fight. Archmage was resurrected with no problem. Needs to get to level 2. That is going to be the downside here, as the Death Knight tries to do a run by and finds himself on the wrong end of a bunch of ranged units. Death Coil taking down that Wisp right there. No detonation. Death Knight now trying to run all the way back here. We are looking at, well, the Archmage looking to get to level 2, which will unlock that Brilliance Aura, which is so necessary as well. All right. Black Spider going to get taken down. They have Brilliance Aura, so powerful. We're looking at, well, Farseer and that Priestess of the Moon now going to round the corner. Archmage here finds his opponent, going to drop some Water Elementals, try to cause a little bit of disruption here, creeping out your opponent's fountain. What a risky, gutsy move, as at any point, your opponent can just walk on by. We are looking at Huntresses joining in here, but the Footmen all have defend, as all of a sudden, we're going to see the Crypt Fiends now come in from the other side too. Crypt Fiends should have no problem going after the Huntresses. Archmage shows back up to the party, and now, well, Orange team is in a little bit of trouble as well. However, some great focus fire coming in from those headhunters onto the militia rather than trying to target the footmen is gonna work. Damage gonna add back up here. Rod of Necromancy being used as well. We're looking at the Priestess of the Moon getting up to level 2. Those Searing arrows starting to leave a burn mark on that Archmage as the Archmage now tries to retreat back. Meanwhile, well, nope, Archmage. Well, in the major danger here. Is it going to be able to retreat back out? Yes, it will be able to retreat back out, but he has, well, his opponent did get, or his partner was left to hang to dry a little bit, but what's going back on here? Well, Priestess of the Moon now shows up alongside the Huntresses, and with that bonus bit of damage, may be able to add in a little bit more here. Thank you for the follow as the Death Knight. Well, the timing and the coordination of Sunny and Hax doesn't seem to be on, well, they don't seem to be on top of everything here. Priestess of the Moon is ready to go once more. Huntresses are here. Well, we are looking at a couple of Spirit Wolves as well, hanging back. What is going on? As we're looking at the Death Knight of Hax trying to get to level 2 for that Unholy Aura. Without that Unholy Aura, that movement speed is just not fast enough on that Death Knight and that Undead army overall. And without that faster movement speed, well, we're just going to see constant pressure coming in from Illisori and Draniq here, as we are also getting in some Ancient Protectors. All right, Lich is out here to play. We are going into Halls of the Dead, trying to go into Tier 3. One of the reasons why Undead is so difficult to play in 2v2s is that, well, you still need to go for Tier 3 a lot of the time. Now, right now, we're looking at this massive Tier 1 army, and this is just a 300 moment of trying to hold the Immortals off here, and until you have enough behind you, as we're looking at Voodoo Lounge and Watchtower. All right, Footmen trying to push their way through. Footmen is reflecting back damage. There's just not enough Crypt Fiends. Rock or what Hax is just having a difficult time just trying to get to those Huntresses, as the True Shot or giving a major damage bonus across the board. And now we're going to be adding in Ancient Protectors, which are, well, mobile stationary defense. Well, mobile stationary offense, I guess, at this point in the game. Remo mentioned he's looking for a co-caster for the SCL Cup tonight. If you're interested, I am. I could be interested. Depends on the time and how late it will go. But yeah, and definitely interested. Mountain King Archmage Death Knight now making its rounds down across here. Headhunter is going to be coming into position. A little bit distracted now as the Death Knight, Mountain King working together. There is the hero advantage coming in for the human and undead army. There are 4 heroes going up against 2. Are we going to perhaps be looking at some, yes, Storm Bolts as well, getting in a possible surround on a Huntress, but no such luck there as a Crypt Fiend now tries to back away. Mountain King low on mana, down to 73 mana, does have enough for another Storm Bolt. Archmage still sitting only at level 2, and they're not going to be healing up at that Fountain of Health. Pushing back onto the other side here, a Graveyard under a bit of duress as the Watchtowers, Ancient Protectors are going to get finished off, as Meat Wagons did join in on the fight here. With Meat Wagons here as well, the Huntress power is going to drop off significantly. Demolishers, or excuse me, Meat Wagons, when they're able to attack freely and completely go unchecked, their damage is rather high. All right, Lich does have the Orb of Corruption. We do have one Nerubian Tower and a Spirit Tower in the back here, as the units are just still engaging and fighting away. The Graveyard down to 165 hit points, as we're looking at the Headhunters trying to push on through. Along the back side here, we see Huntresses are pretty much neutralized from this fight. Mountain King has a good amount of mana again, as we're looking at them continuing to push, and Sorceresses and Priests are here. It looks like the tech advantage is going to start to hold true, as a new crypt needs to get added in. Meat Wagons are coming over to get repaired. More damage going to get added up. Footmen, well, have Defend trying to bounce back some of that damage. Mountain King going to get taken down. Oh, yes, does get taken down, as the Huntresses now give chase once more. The Huntresses constantly engaging against the Footmen, and a footman. Meanwhile, the meat wagons constantly engaging against all of these headhunters. That is not the matchup that the human and undead army are hoping for. They're hoping for a little bit of a switch exactly of that scenario, but the Lich is now sitting at level 2. Death Knight just shy of level 3 of Frost Nova could be the difference right there. There's a Death Coil, and it is saved there as the Death Knight, well, trying to get away down to 144 hit points and dropping quickly. Potion of Greater Healing. Let's take a look back at this the other way. Death Knight could use a Scroll of Town Portal to try and teleport. Yes, but where is it going to teleport to? How much damage can it really help here as the Death Knight now teleports to the back here? Potion of Healing not available, down to 18 hit points, and finally it does get taken out. All right, Lich is in trouble, doesn't have enough mana, but, well, they backed themselves into an undead base with only one get out of jail free card, two get out of jail free cards being used. How much damage was suffered? A lot more units could have been taken out right there. Death Knight now getting resurrected as we're looking at the Voodoo Lounge getting cleared back off that forward base. Orc finally taking this time to tech to tier 2, sitting at 44 supply. Night Elf sitting at 40. Undead sitting at 18 supply. And, well, obviously a very, very low amount here. Unable to save the Death Knight and the Lich. That was the big setback. Meanwhile, Sunny is sitting at 49 supply there with only one arcane tower in the back. It really felt like the undead just needed to get a little bit more experience on that Death Knight to get to level 3. Once it was at level 3, it could have easily have gotten level 2 Death Coil to heal the Lich, and then also perhaps try and get Death Coil to heal the Lich, and then a little bit more hit points on that Death Knight as well. It was just a matter of some points of experience that would have made a very drastic difference. All right, it looks like it is going to be level 2 Water Elementals, level 1 Brilliance Aura, Mountain King picking up perhaps a Thunderclap in this scenario because of all of the headhunters, as we see a quick reveal being shown down there. Was it a Crystal Ball? Yes, Crystal Ball from the Farseer finding that expansion location. Meanwhile, Mountain King coming back down across here. He is at 240 mana. Death Knight will get to level 3. That's what I was mentioning earlier. He didn't even need that much. That level 2 Death Coil would have made a drastic difference. Coming back around. Well, we need to see a transition eventually into Berserkers. Headhunters just don't have enough hit points going into tier 3. Going into tier 3, Footmen now making their way back off to the north as well. Archmage, going to be heading back as well. We are looking at what? A couple of skeletal minions getting taken out. Priestess of the Moon with double Wand of Illusion. All right. Of illusion that could be used for some trickery as you artificially inflate your army, and at this point, well, it could very well be that there's 6 extra huntresses. If Illisori was trying to make it look like he's not double expanding behind this, he could easily use 6 additional huntresses in an illusionary tactic to try and confuse the opponent and think that they're trying to do an all-in. But eventually when the all-in isn't an all-in, well, the expansions would have started paying for themselves, as we should be going into, well, tier 3. Tauren Chieftain now getting added in here. I don't see a second hero coming in from the Night Elf, as the headhunters are all now racing their way back down. Farseer sitting at level 4. Ring of Protection going to be dropped here. Not enough item slots really, as the scroll speed now being used there. I believe picked up a Ring of Protection +4, a decent amount of additional hit points, especially since, well, Orc and Night Elf don't have any real mobile healing going on. Mountain King now sitting at level 3. That is going to be a very big deal, opening up level 2 Stormbolt. Coming back around to the south side here, Priestess of the Moon gonna go ahead and put in some pressure down to the south. That is a lot of huntresses, and this expansion will get cleared up. But if you had to trade your expansion for a main base, I guess, well, that is a play that Sunny and Hax are willing to do. A couple of Moonwells could easily get taken down here. Water Elemental, as well, just perusing through here as we are going to be looking at a Tree of Life. Mountain King, is it going to try and get any Thunderclaps? There goes the Huntresses. Are we going to see a Thunderclap mass detonation? There you are. There goes a mass detonation there. Scroll of Town Portal. A bunch of Wisps being retreated back as the Mountain King loses all of its precious mana. But 2 Scrolls of Town Portal burn into that scenario. Huntresses who showed up to the party and then realized, wait, where is everyone else? They all left a little bit earlier as the Mountain King, well, looks to regenerate all of its precious mana again. Supply side, we are looking at 64 for the human, 51 for the night elf. We are going to tier 3 for orc. He's sitting at 49 supply, and undead has bounced back, now sitting at 41 over 50. As well as Sunny and everyone here pretty much now running up on, or both sides running up on 4 bases. Why burn 2 town portals when only one player is attacking? Well, I'm trying to... I didn't know the location of both of the armies, but it could have been a scenario where... well, big Thunderclap coming across here. Sunny, maybe it was level 2 Thunderclap. That Thunderclap actually looked rather large. Mountain King right in the center of everything. A Scroll of Healing being used on both sides. There is another Thunderclap again. Sunny does have a Wand of Mana Stealing. Could Wand of Mana Stealing from that Tauren Chieftain. Should probably do exactly that to try and deny, as the Mountain King could... Well, taking far too much damage. You can see Glaive Throwers were actually exploding a couple of units here as the Mountain King falls at level 3. If the Mountain King had used the Wand of Mana Stealing and then done a Thunderclap, I think that would have been just enough to slow the attacks around him. And then by slowing the attacks around him, he could have survived that fight. Sometimes a good a strong offense is the best defense, as that defense allows, or that offense allows you to, well, take less damage, reduce the attack speed and the effectiveness of that other army. Burning 2 Scrolls of Town Portal, generally not a good idea, obviously, in a 2v1 situation, but then again, you don't want to leave your partner hanging. If you leave your partner hanging, dang it, hopefully this gets resumed back out here in just a second. You don't want to leave your partner hanging. If you leave your partner hanging in a 1v1 scenario, you have 2 1v1 fights. And in 2 1v1 fights, even with home field advantage, you may not necessarily come out ahead. So it's one of those, one of those scenarios where, yes, it's 2 1v1 fights, but the army composition of the human army, footmen, casters, spellbreakers, seems like a much more robust army than an army of pure huntresses or an army of pure headhunters. Impale, level 1 coming across, a big slowing or big stunning damage right there. Altar of Kings needs to be rebuilt along the back there. Crypt Lord doesn't get enough time to set off another as the Crypt Lord falls at level 1. Spellbreaker should really be going after either the Headhunters or the Farseer. Remove some of that mana, as well as there is massive slow coming across on the other side here. Tauren Chieftain in that frontline spot gets up to level 3. Throws now, well, it looks like he was about to throw down a stomp and then realized, wait, stomping on Spellbreakers really doesn't make that much sense. All right, losing a lot of mana in that retreat back. Meanwhile, the Death Knight says, you know what, I can't stick around here any longer. Lich could easily throw back a Frost Nova to create a little bit of separation. Don't quite know why it's not doing that there, as the Obsidian Statue is going to get taken out as well. Movement speed is a big issue. True Shot Aura sitting at level 3. Priestess of the Moon almost at level 6 now. So Starfall may be coming in as well. Double or triple Water Elementals in position could try to absorb a little bit of damage. There goes one Water Elemental down. Priestess of the Moon still inching closer. Farseer, Tauren Chieftain all getting ready to go. And this is an army full of casters. No Spellbreakers, no Riflemen, no Knights. And that is the question right now. Why aren't there Knights to create some sort of frontline, fast-moving attack that can take down those Berserkers and to support alongside those Spellbreakers here? Huntresses making their way over, took down a large number of those peasants there. We are losing quite a bit of mining, but now in comes the squeeze play. There goes an Impale, there goes a Frost Nova, and all of a sudden the Headhunters seem significantly weaker. Archmage trying to push back the other way. Headhunter after Headhunter is falling as the Lich could be coming back across and trying to get another Frost Nova amongst this fragile army. All right, another Frost Nova could be inbound. Are we going to see it? No, we are not. A quick scroll of Town Portal. A bunch of Headhunters low on hit points, and they were all able to escape. All right, looking at the armies here, Night Elf, well, all their moon wells are drained, so difficult to tell how much healing was going on. But you can take a look here. Farseer used the Scroll of Town Portal, Headhunter or Berserker, all low on hit points. One Frost Nova, one well-placed Frost Nova could have gotten the job done. All right. What is Hax's follow-up play going to be? He is training up more acolytes to, well, obviously try and saturate this gold mine. Coming back across on the other side here, Tauren Chieftain sitting at level 3 does have a belt of giant strength and a gauntlet of ogre strength. That Tauren Chieftain, if it feels like it's very difficult to kill, it's because it is 1100 hit points at level 3. Coming back around, more peasants are going to get trained up here as we're looking at the undead army, well, walking into the Night Elf base. One peon going to get taken out here. Ancient of Wonder is going to get destroyed pretty fast as well. There is only one Crypt Fiend here. This is rather odd. This Crypt Fiend army, Hax actually opening up with the Abominations instead, and the Abominations are making it difficult for the Night Elf and the Berserker army to really heal all that back up. All right, we see a great Impale. There's a Stomp going the other way. Archmage is off to the north. Potion of Lesser Invulnerability and massive Polymorph. All right. Oh, what a brilliant play by Sunny, realizing that the opponent doesn't have any sort of dispel. We're looking at the Tauren Chieftain now getting taken down. Massive Polymorph coming across there as Stormbolt coming in from the Mountain King, finishing things off. Tauren Chieftain falls at level 3. Criplord falls at level 2. The Polymorph has come to an end. Archmage being forced to use a Scroll of Town Portal to get away. Is it going to save the last couple of units? Yes, it does. As we're looking at, well, another Berserker trying to back away. Looking at the army composition, this is not a fight that Undead wants to fight in a 2v1, and he's going to be retreating back to see an army of Huntresses and a Priestess of the Moon getting in the way as well. All right, a little bit of damage added. There's a Chain Lightning. Abomination escapes at 6 hit points. Oh, wow. Some big deal indeed. And wow, I don't remember the last time I've seen so many sheeps in one fight. If they were perhaps thinking, well, if Sunny had tried to engage against the Orc army, and then there was the Scrolls of Town Portal there, that would have worked out significantly better. The dispel was from detonations, I believe, from the Night Elf army, and those detonations really unlocked those, what it felt like 5 or 6 polymorphed sheep. Having 6 units out of combat for a prolonged fight, that would have been a very big deal. And now we're looking at Orange doing a great job using this Fountain of Health to regenerate some of those hit points. All right, Glaive Thrower is going to try and retreat back here. Glaive Throwers are relatively low on hit points, only 300 hit points each. Going to get taken down. There goes one. Slow cast on another, as we are looking at another Glaive Thrower about to get taken out here. All right, only a minute of mining left. Archmage doesn't have mass teleport, and, well, kind of left the undead army to hang in a position where it needs to move or figure out what to do in order to stay alive here. 2v1 battle fighting here. Obsidian Statue, Death Knight with Unholy Aura level 2 trying to move back away, and that is exactly what's happening. Meanwhile, Berserkers feeding the Destroyers. The Destroyers able to devour magic, get a large amount of hit points and mana back, and that's not what you want to be doing either. Bloodlust Berserk units, as the Archmage armies pretty much asking and keeping saying, are you okay, Hax? Hax is like, yeah, no, I got this. I am fine. As we see a Scroll of Town Portal come back the other way. Double Scroll of Town Portal right there. Chain Lightning coming back the other side again. What is going to get taken out? Double Scroll of Town Portal for a 2v1 trade once more. All right, a bunch of acolytes crying and waiting for this haunted gold mine to come back online. Night Elf is really just mining from these two bases with absolutely no problem. Orc gonna get pressed again once more. One obsidian statue which is low on mana, hanging in the back, trying to provide a bit of support right there. We're gonna see another dead shaman on the move as the huntresses are getting into position again. Priestess of the Moon probably has Starfall online again, but will it really be used with Impale and Stormbolt both on the table? Orc army getting impaled for just a split second. Lich, gonna go ahead, try to save there, and there goes the Crypt Lord again. The Crypt Lord falling at level 2, unable to be saved. Lich sitting at level 3, plus 10 attack, and it's really looking like the North side's constant pressuring gave them advantage early on. Green was able to bounce back, has made this game extremely interesting, but in the end, is Sunny's constant play and harassing of the main base really going to make a difference, allowing themselves to be stuck in 2v1 fights. Tauren Chieftain sitting at level 3 here has a number of Berserkers, 3-0 upgrades. The main base could end up getting taken down. No Tree of Eternity looks like it's going to be fine as the Archmage teleports to try and save its expansion. All right, Deathcoil finishing off a Huntress or two. There they go. A couple of peasants perhaps should try and repair once more. 71 supply. 71 compared to 61 and 61, 51, 71 and 50, or 71 and 61. All right, Green actually with a larger supply here. The difference is the economy, as Sunny only mining with 2 peasants here, and Undead finally mining back here at his natural expansion. But this haunted gold mine has taken a large amount of time. Yeah, no. Mountain Giants transition has already started to happen. You can see dual Ancients of Lore off to the side here. And, there is already Abominations. So that is something you must consider. Abominations, that normal damage, 34 to 46 damage, that frontline spot should work out well. Thank you for the follow, as the Mountain King now heads back off to the north. Archmage, Mountain King, continuing this pressure here. Crota, thank you. Hunter Saul, 75 over 80 supply. Night Elf is rebuilding their base inside here. Mountain Giant transition, 75 over 80 supply. Decent amount of gold. And yeah, Avalanche, one of those maps that really favored human and orc in the past, when these two gold mines were like super close to each other and you could have one town hall and 6 on each gold mine. Essentially allowing you to set up 2 bases for the price of 1. Kind of was at a disadvantage for Night Elf and Undead. Anything that has to entangle or haunt the gold mine, as we're looking at a 2v1 fight here. Abomination getting into a little bit of trouble. There's a Purge right there. Abomination trying to fight back. Now needs to, doesn't save his own Abomination and instead tries to kill a Huntress. Not going to work. Oh, this is going to be bad news. Those Huntresses are going to end up getting completely slaughtered and hung out to dry here. Mountain King gets in a big thunderclap. It's a 2v1 fight here. Scroll of Town Portal coming back in across as well, and that is more of a discretionary move to try and regroup your army again. Fighting where your army is together is always a good idea, but now you have this narrow choke point that you're trying to walk through, and it looks as though Orange is just going to allow this to happen and instead rush on into the Undead base. Trying to attack an Undead base with only piercing damage and magic damage, allowing the Green Army to get back in. This may have been the final, the final mistake right here, as we're looking at the Mountain Giants trying to absorb in the front here. Mountain Giants are absorbing and taking a lot of damage. Are we going to see a stomp? Yes, we do. Doesn't stomp all that much. We're looking for it a perhaps Impale. Priestess of the Moon very well protected behind enemy lines. There goes the Impale. It does hit the Priestess as the Tauren Chieftain is sitting at level 4. Stormbolt could be coming down. Damage is raining across here. Mountain Giants in that frontline spot. There goes another stomp there onto the Death Knight. Death Knight now wants to get back onto Blight. Mounting so many thunderclaps across the board, being able to get in so many slows. There's another Impale again. Chain Lightning. Mountain King still has that Wand of Mana Stealing waiting for it. No, there's Earthquake now coming in from the Farseer. All right, Tauren Chieftain has fallen at level 4. Level 4. Farseer has fallen at level 6. Mountain King gets up to level 5, and that is gonna be the game. Green, the South Side Army, ends up taking the win after a back and forth match. and trying to trying to take out the undead base with an army of headhunter, or excuse me, berserkers and shaman was just not the right move there. The mountain, and I think in that last fight, if the mountain giants had picked up the clubs, and then they were the ones beating down on that undead base, while there was a very strong semicircle welcoming party coming in, right outside of that expansion, that narrow walkway expansion to the south. That would have been an absolute nightmare for Sunny and Hacks to try and get out of. Pure positioning would have changed at least the outcome of that battle, if not the game. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this crazy matchup here on Avalanche.